بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Hi my dear students and viewers from other schools, either inside or outside Qatar. This is Sharif Al-Qaramfiri. I'm a teacher of English teaching grade 8, and I'm glad to present this demonstration prepared by my colleague Mr. Ahmed Arif, who teaches the same grade in the school. In fact, he has chosen some of the commonest questions from the previous national exams in Qatar, of course, for the same grade 8, and I hope that you will understand each and every part of it. So let's start with writing mechanics, and as you can see on the screen, each and every word you'll be in need of knowing the meaning of will be shown on the screen. For example, the choices of this question: habitats. Of course, you can read the Arabic meaning of it. Harms, hikes, horns, and of course the meaning of some other words in the sentence: natural, Arabian desert. So let's read the sentence and try to know the answer of it. So one of the natural space of camels is in the Arabian deserts. So the natural what? Natural, try, yes, it's some of the natural habitats. Yes, because habitat is the place where animals live. We move to number 2. Sheikha has spaced her father about the problem so that he can help her. So that means because she wanted him to help her. So Sheikha has spaced her father. Now we have 4 choices. It's grammar, of course, structure. You see the first form, the first choice: telling, tells, told, tell. So different forms of the verb. What form do we need here? In order to know the form you need, you have to think of the tense. What tense is used in this question? Of course, this tense is the present perfect tense. And the form of the present perfect tense, as you can see, is using has or have plus the past participle form of the verb, the main verb. So the main verb here is tell, telling or tells or told or tell. So has or have is here. Sheikha takes has, of course, because Sheikha is singular. And we need the past participle form of the verb. Sheikha has what? Has. Of course, you know the 3 different forms of the irregular verbs, of most of the irregular verbs, like go, went, gone, and some other verbs. Of course, for 90% of the verbs, or more than 90%, are regular verbs, like play, played, played, want, wanted, wanted. They go the regular way. What else? Ask, asked, asked, and so on. But some other verbs are irregular, like this verb, tell. So it's tell, told, told. We need the past participle. What's the past participle of tell? Yes, it's told. So Sheikha has told her father about the problem so that he can help her. Number 3, you can rely space your friends and family to help you. First of all, look at the meaning of rely. Of course, the answer is shown, rely on. Can you think of another phrasal verb which has the same meaning as rely on? And it starts with D. Yes, it's depend on. So depend on or rely on have the same meaning. You can rely space your friends and family to help you. You can rely on your friends and family to help you. Well, now let's move to number 4. Your team deserves space the championship. Well, first of all, the meaning of deserve is shown to you. This is the meaning of it. And their team deserves space the championship. And the championship, there's the meaning of it. And of course, the meaning of the team is no. Well, the point here is that deserve is one of the verbs you studied that are followed by the noun. Yes, some of you would say they are followed by the gerund or the verb plus ing. Yes, what's the verb plus ing? It's simply a noun, because in order to be a verb, it has to be preceded by am or is or are or was or were plus the verb plus ing in order to form a tense, because it's no tense. You cannot say a verb with no tense. Winning is not a verb, because what tense is it? No, it's not the present continuous, because in order to be the present continuous, it has to be preceded by am or is or are. Am winning, is winning, are winning. This is present continuous. So it's not a verb. This is what I want to tell you. It's not a verb, it's a noun. Well, so deserves is followed by a noun. And simply, if you don't know the noun, if you don't know how to use the noun, just get the verb and put ing to it. It turns into a noun. Like swim is a verb. He swims in the sea. But swimming, I like swimming, is a noun. So you get the verb and you add ing in order to form it. So the answer will be their team deserves, yes, winning. Well, number 5, cars must space less in city centers to reduce air pollution. Of course, this rule is called obligation in the passive. You know, the passive voice or the passive form, it's a form, it's not a tense. All the tenses could be either in active or passive. For example, I play football, football is played, this is present simple. One is in the active voice, I play football, this is the regular way. And football is played, this is the passive voice of it. And of course, you were taught this rule during the year, how to turn an active sentence into a passive one. But here, in the national exams, you are not asked to change the sentence into a passive voice. You just have the passive voice sentence, and one word is missing in order to make sure that you understand it. So cars must space less in city centers to reduce air pollution. Now let's take it one by one. Can we say cars must use less in city centers? Cars use what? We can say cars must use fuel or petrol, but it's not here. So use is not the word. And of course, it should be passive, because people use cars in city centers, and this is not good. We should reduce the using of cars in city centers, or the use of cars in city centers. So cars must, this is obligation and passive. So we use the modal, which is must or have to or has to or may or might, plus be plus past participle, like here. Must be plus past participle in order to give you the passive meaning. So cars must use or used or must be used or must be using. This is not correct, of course, because if it's passive, if it's obligation and passive, it should be followed by be plus what? Plus past participle. All the passive forms should end with the past participle, not the verb plus ing. So cars must be used. Well, number 6, acid rain. Well, the meaning of acid rain is not here. It's like the rain when it rains, and of course it rains high up in the sky, and then from the clouds, of course, and then before the rain reaches the earth, in the earth's atmosphere, if there is much pollution from factories and cars, of course there is fume that comes out of factories and cars, and this pollutes the air. So the air is polluted. Notice the passive. What tense is the sentence? The air is polluted. Yes, that's very good of you. It's in the present simple tense, passive in the present simple tense. Well, the air is polluted. So when the rain comes down to the earth, it is filled with pollution from the air. And this rain, of course, is harmful. It's not good for agriculture, or it's not good for anything because it's polluted. We call this this rain acid rain. Well, Acid rain is a space problem, is an environmental problem. Of course, the meanings will help you so much. An environmental problem, a cultural problem, so funny, of course, a political problem, even funnier, a social problem, the funniest. Well, of course, acid rain is an environmental problem. Yes. Number 7, I have scratched my arm. It's just like I have hurt my arm. Of course, look, this is what tense have scratched. This is present perfect because it's something that happened and it has a relation to the present. Maybe you find a scratch on his arm. So I have scratched my arm and have no cream to use. I wish I space some now. Well, now for wish or wishing in the present, sometimes you wish that something had happened to you. This is wish in the past. For example, I wish I had succeeded last year, but unfortunately I failed. And this is wish in the past. This is not our subject now. We are speaking about wishes in the present. In wishes in the present, you use the past simple. I don't want you to be confused. When you express a wish in the present, use the past simple, which is the second form of the verb. So I wish I space some now. So now shows you that we are speaking about the present. So this is wish in the present. What tense should we use here? Yes, past simple. Had. And in number 8, he explained that he would space the party because nobody had invited him. Well, some of the most famous rules in English is that the modals, the modals, can, could, shall, should, will, would, may, might, must, have to, has to. All these are modals. And they have no past participle, by the way. They are verbs like other verbs, but unlike other verbs, they don't have past participle. For example, the present or the infinitive form is can. The past, the second form, could. What's the past participle or the third form? Nothing. They only have present and past. Well, all these modals are followed by the infinitive form of the verb. Look, modal verbs like can, could, will, would, shall, should, may, might, must, and so on. They are followed by, these two arrows mean that they are followed by the infinitive form of the verb. Of course, the infinitive form is the verb without adding anything, without adding s or es or ies or ed or ing, without adding anything. So what's the infinitive form here? Is it tense infinitive? Of course not. There is an s. Attended? No, this is the past of it, or the past participle, of course. Not attend? Maybe, but what about not? Don't worry. Not doesn't change the verb. The verb is attend. Yes, this is the infinitive. And of course, not attending, this is the gerund. It's not the infinitive. So we need the infinitive. So this is the only infinitive of the 4 choices. Not attend. He explained that he would not attend the party because nobody had invited him. If I were you, I wouldn't go. Not attend. Number 9, his great success pays his strong will and his wife's support. I don't think so. Well, his great success came space. I want you to have a look at the meanings first. Success, strong will. Of course, will here. What part of speech is the word will? Yes, it's a noun. It seems from the meaning that it's a noun. It's totally different from will, I will travel, for example. Well, strong will, support, like help, as a result of, yes. Nevertheless, these are the meanings of some of the choices. As a result of means, yes. And nevertheless, it's exactly like although, even though, yes. If you have 2 of the same meanings, of the same meaning, They can't be the correct answer because they have the same meaning. To begin with, look, yes, to begin with, it is used at the beginning of some paragraphs. So his great success, as I told you, these two cannot be the answer, and this is not applicable here. You cannot, this is not the start of a new idea or a paragraph, for example. So it's this. But let's know the meaning. His great success came as a result of, or because of, as a result of his strong will and his wife's support. Yes. Number 10. She found cheaper shoes and realized that she had space at the first shop. She had unpaid or subpaid or overpaid or prepaid. Before we, of course, this is a sentence of vocabulary, not structure, but I'm very interested in the past perfect tense, which is used here. Can you tell me where the past perfect tense is used here? Yes, it's this. Had plus what? The past perfect form of the verb is had. The form of the verb in the past perfect is had plus the past participle. So all of them are past participle. As I told you, it's not a structured sentence. But I want you to tell me why the past perfect tense is used here. Because as I told you before, or as your teachers told you before, that the past perfect tense is used with the first of two actions, two or more actions in the past. For example, I had my lunch before I went out. So what happened first? I had my lunch, and then before I went out. As you can see, you would say that you didn't use the past perfect tense. Yes, I didn't use it. I had my lunch before I went out, because the actions are known. There is no ambiguity in it. They are clear that I had my lunch first and then I went out. So I am not in need of using the past perfect tense. But in a sentence like, when she arrived at the station, the train left. Did she catch the train? Maybe yes, and maybe no. When she had arrived, if I use the past perfect tense here, I point out that this is the first action. When she had arrived at the station, the train left. This means that she caught the train. Okay, but if I say when she arrived at the station, the train had left, so she missed the train because the train had left first, right? So what I want to tell you is that we use the past perfect tense to express the first of two or more actions in the past in order to make sure that the consequence of actions is clear. All right, now I want you to go back now to the meanings here. So unpaid, look here, the meaning of unpaid. Subpaid, it's not applicable here. Overpaid, maybe overpay means to pay more, right? And prepaid, you know, like the bills in Vodafone, the prepaid action and the postpaid action in Vodafone. By the way, I recommend the prepaid. Well, she found cheaper shoes and realized that she had space at the first shop. Cheaper shoes. So what happened first? Did she buy at the first shop? Yes, she paid first. And then she found cheaper shoes and she realized that she had, look, this is the past perfect tense. It showed you that she had, first she bought and she had paid. But did she paid or overpaid or prepaid? It's overpaid, of course. You know why? Because she overpaid. She paid more than enough. The shoes are, she paid 100 riyals, for example, for the shoes, but she found them in another shop cheaper. She found them for 60 riyals. So she discovered, or she realized, that she had overpaid. Well, now number number 11, we have to have a look at these phrasal verbs first. Put off, inquire about are followed by the verb plus ing. As I told you, are followed by noun. Well, it was explained with the verb deserve. The team deserves winning, yes. Put off, inquire about are phrasal verbs that end with prepositions. Off, about. In fact, I'll tell you something. All the prepositions in English are followed by nouns or verb plus ing, because I told you that the verb plus ing is also a noun, like swimming, right? So I want you to put in your mind that they are followed by nouns. Okay, so put off, inquire about. I told you all prepositions, of course, except for the preposition to. To is followed by the infinitive form of the verb. And of course, there are like 2 or 3 exceptions to it, like look forward to hearing from you. This sentence is written at the end of any letter, any formal letter. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Right? So look forward to hearing. This is one exception. I am used to waking up early. Yes, I wake up early every day, and I am used to waking up early. You know why? Because if you translate it into Arabic, you find that you need the you find that you need the noun. I am used to waking up early. Translated? Yes. I don't need a verb. I am used to waking up early. So these are the 2 exceptions to the preposition to followed by infinitive, except for these 2 situations. Well, but in general, prepositions are followed by nouns or verb plus ing, which refers to a noun, of course, which means a noun. Now let's look at this. They put off. Yes, we need a noun here, or a verb plus ing. Discuss is a verb. That's right. To discuss is also a verb. Discussion is a noun. Discussing is another noun. So what's the answer? Yes, they put off discussion or discussing the party. You would say that both of them are correct, but the answer is discussing. You know why? Because we use discussion, we'd better use that before it. They put off that discussion of the party in order to use the word discussion. We cannot say they put off discussion the party. Of course, it's wrong. So they put off that discussion of the party is correct, but they put off discussing the party. Yes, discussing the party plans. Well, Jabir inquired about another phrasal verb that ends with a preposition, about. So all the prepositions, by the way, I forgot to tell you, but because you're all good students, you know that the prepositions are like, and you can add to me, okay? In, on, at, with, for, by, of, about, and so on. Okay, so these are prepositions. Whenever you find one, you have to follow it with a noun or a verb plus ing. Again, Jabir inquired about visit. What part of speech is the word visit? Yes, you're excellent. It is either a verb or a noun, so it could be correct. Okay, so keep it. Visited is a verb, of course. Visiting, maybe it's a noun. We said that if we add ing to the verb, it becomes a noun. But visits, oh yes, it could be a noun or a verb. Okay, because it could be a noun in the plural. I'll give you a visit tomorrow. Okay, she paid me a lot of visits last year, right? So it's a noun or a verb. She visits her uncle every Friday, right? So number 1 could be correct. Number 3, A could be correct. Number C could be correct, and number D could be correct too. Well, now let's discuss visit or visits. Could they be mentioned here? Let's say Jabir inquired about visit another country. Inquired about the visit to another country. It could be correct. So as I told you in the previous sentence, the visit to another country. So it's not applicable. And the same with number D. So the answer is simply number C. Jabir inquired about visiting another country. Yes. And inquired, by the way, means asked or wanted to know about visiting another city. Yes. Prepositions like for, out, with, as I told you. And of course, these are phrasal verbs responsible for, work out, catch up with. I want you to have a look at the meanings of them because you will need it in the following questions. Responsible for, work out, catch up with. Well, number 13. The teacher asked a student to space the problem on the board. Well, do you remember? It's a preposition, but is it followed by a noun? It's not one of the exceptions because I told you sometimes to is followed by a noun, but in two exceptions, in two cases, and there's another one, but it's not important here. Well, as I told you, I am looking forward to. It's not this, of course. See? A student to. It's not this. I am used to, or she is used to, they are used to. No, it's not this. So we have to, which should be followed by the infinitive form of the verb. Well, the teacher asked a student to space the problem on the board. Well, of course, all of them are the infinitive form. It's not a structured sentence. It's a meaning again, as I told you before, because I told you to know the meanings of the phrasal verbs mentioned. Now here, work about, work around, work in, work out. Look at the previous slide. Yes, work out to answer. Yes, so the teacher asked the student to answer or to work out. Yes, to work out the problem on the board. Number 14, they had to space with their friends. They had to, I want you to have a look again at the phrasal verbs, responsible for, work out, catch up with. Okay, ready now? Well, now let's move to it. They had to space with their friends. They had to be good like their friends, for example. So they had to, yes, catch up with. Very good. They had to catch up with their friends. Now in number 15, the salesperson, why have I said, or why is it written like that, the salesperson? Because if you don't know whether the sales person is a man or a woman, if he is a man, you would say the salesman. If she is a woman, you would say the saleswoman. So the salesperson completed a space of the new product. Do you remember at the very beginning of this presentation, I told you I am glad to give you or to teach this presentation. I'm giving you a presentation now. And you know when you go to a shop that sells mobile phones, for example, and you ask about the different mobile phones, and he tells you about one mobile phone or an iPhone, for example, he would say that this iPhone can make so and so, and you can use it to take photos, and you can also use it to so and so. So he shows you everything about the iPhone or the mobile phone. This is called presentation. So the salesperson completed a presentation of the new product. Demonstration. I'm so sorry. It has the same meaning. You can say a presentation of the new project or a demonstration of the new project. Yes, demonstration, and that's the meaning of it. It's like showing the new product. Tonight's lesson, space climate change around the world. Okay. It's one of them, either focus or coal. But I want you to have a look at the word focus. Can we say focus at or focus on? Yes, it's focus on. You know what the meaning of it is? Yes, like concentrate on. The same with concentrate, it takes on. Focus on. So tonight's lesson focuses on. You would say, why did we add or has an S or ES been added to the verb focus? Focuses, because let me ask you, what tense is this verb? This is the verb. In what tense is it? Is it present simple, past simple, present continuous, or progressive? Yes, it's present simple. It's not past simple. It's not present continuous, of course, because if it's in the present continuous tense, you would find am or is or are here, and you would find an ing here. So this is not the present continuous. And it's not the past simple, because this is a regular verb, focus, focused, focused. You would find ed at the end of it. So this verb is in the present simple tense. That's why we add an S to it. Why? Because you have to look at the subject. The subject is today's lesson, which is singular. And of course, you know that in the present simple tense, if the subject is singular, the verb is followed by an S. Okay? Or we add an S to the verb. Of course, S or ES or IES according to the end of the verb. Here the verb ends with S. And of course, the S is one of the letters that are followed by ES. Do you remember the letters? They are included in the word Hyksos. Not the Hyksos that attacked Egypt long ago, but it's just a word that reminds you of the letters that are followed by ES in the present simple tense. It's H, X, O, S. H like wash or watch. If I say he washes, we add ES because they end with H. Okay, this is the first letter of the word Hyksos. X like mix. She mixes the ingredients. Well, and Hykso O like go or do. He goes to school every day, and she does her homework regularly. Well, goes or does are followed by the verb. Go or do are followed by ES. And of course, you would say that Mr. Sharif is talkative. He keeps talking about things which are not included in the question. Yes, but you are about to have the national exam. And of course, in the national exam, you might find everything. And this is like a revision on the whole year, on everything you have studied this year. So there's nothing I'm explaining to you now which are not told to you during this year or even the previous years. And this is the way how national exams go. So forgive me because I'm teaching you more than what the question deserves. Well, let's move to number 17 and the last one in the writing mechanics. My brother is interested. I wrote likes after the verb because interested with a preposition means likes or fond of or keen on. I am fond of mobile phones. I like mobile phones. I am keen on. Yes, I am keen on mobile phones. But this sentence, interested in. So as I told you, keen on, fond of, interested in, or like. All of them have the same meaning. So what we have in this sentence is interested in computers, which means he likes computers very much.